So she can go and chill in the other room, not stairs down. Maybe, you know what, I have a thing.
Oh, can I give it to her? Her name's the same way, Mom. What's this?
It's a beer.
Oh.
All right, Gloria, go eat that.
Go eat that instead of going that's done.
Hello, how's it going?
Good.
Good, good. How's your week been?
It's been good. How
Yeah.
about you?
Good, pretty good, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna say you are Ignotus. Did I get that right?
Atticus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, Atticus. Okay. Ignotus is your brother though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got that much right. Okay, good. How's little Gloria doing?
Good.
She's doing good.
Good. Excellent. We've got, let's see if we got some more people coming in here. Here we go. Quinn and Scooter coming in. Got Pharaoh coming in. Hello, Quinn. How's it going?
Hi, it's going fine. How are you?
Oh, good. Good. How's little Scooter doing?
He's doing well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a really good week.
Nice. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. Hello, Greg. How are you?
Hey, we're good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Let's see. Who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we got, we got Chris coming in now. Wait till we get everybody settled in.
Oh, that's your bone.
Got little Ollie.
Is that too bright with the light?
Hello. Oh, we got both of you today. Excellent. Nice to meet you, Kurt. Hey there. How's little Ollie doing?
She's doing great. She's very
Okay.
calm today.
Well, that's good. That's great. I'd reward the heck out of that.
Yeah,
So you get more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's having a great day.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure that's a little bit of a respite from you guys when you get that calm behavior.
Absolutely.
We got one more coming in, and I think we'll be about where we need to be here. Let's see who we got here. Pete and Katie coming in here, I think. Katie. Well, I don't see them, but I think they're in here. I think they're probably getting their cameras set up. Let's give them just a couple more, like another minute here.
If you're talking about Pete and Katie, somehow it's not letting me turn my video on, so I might.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's like I see that you're here.
I might leave and then jump back in. See if that
Sounds
helps.
great. I'll be watching for you, and I'll give you like another minute before I get going here.
Great.
I'm going to grab a little pen and paper real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh,
It's so soft.
they're very soft. Will you go take that to the trash one?
I think that sounds great.
So Shannon, I was just going to say, I have a little ebook on building optimism, and I think that's probably Reginald could really use some games. It's just got some games in there to play for dogs that are fearful and lack confidence. Would you like me to send that to you?
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and it's games, so it's fun for the dog, and it just because like you're on the right track with that. It definitely it is more important than any of these other things, because we can teach behaviors at any point in a dog's life, but their confidence level is of the utmost importance. So, so let me just make a note to send that your way so we can work on. Is anyone else having some issues with fearfulness? Maybe more than your normal puppy, just trepidation. Because I could send you this book. It's just got a lot of games to play to build optimism. Just, kind of trying to make a glass half full dog that's having some glass half empty feelings. Is anyone else finding that they could maybe benefit from that with their confidence level in your puppy? It sounds like maybe little Reginald's having a little more discomfort that I'd like to see for him, and it's really no fun for them when they are experiencing that. So so I'm just gonna make a note to send that to them. But if anyone else feels that they're, just raise your hand if you think that you're having some confidence issues that maybe are a little more over the top than for just what you might see as a puppy's investigating their world. Okay, it sounds like everyone else sounds like more normal puppy experiences that you're having. Okay, cool. Shannon, I'll get that to you within the next few days, probably next couple of days, okay? All righty. So cool. So first thing I thought we would, really quick, I just want to mention there's a handout in your homework, and everyone's being able to access. Let me change my view here real quick. Go to full screen. Excellent. Make things bigger. And everyone's accessing the homework with no problem. That's all working out. Okay, excellent. There's a handout in the homework, and it's called Preventing Dog Bites, and it's got a lot of good information in there. Things just really, really good, solid information that you would benefit from. And it's just sitting in there with all the homework. You can't miss it when you go in there. So I encourage you guys to read over that. Also, just a reminder to keep trading up for chews or things that your dog has. Put those high value treats next to them. Wait till they go for the treats and then take the treat away, the chew or whatever they've got. And after they're done with the treats, then give it right back to them. And when you take it for good, which you'll have to do sometimes, make that be like a fraction of the number of times. So in other words, that means you need to be working on this a lot when they've got something. Another thing you can do, and this is in your homework, when they have something that you'd like for them to drop, you can put a treat right on their nose. And usually as they go to investigate the treat, the thing will fall out of their mouth. And after you do that a few times and you're actually getting that behavior of them letting it drop, you can start right before you put the treat on their nose, interjecting the cue drop. So you'll say drop, treat on nose. And so then eventually you'll just be able to say drop and they will have made that association and will let go of it. So just building that joining of the word, the cue, and the action. Also, just quick reminder to reward those behaviors that you like to see, that we have a tendency to move away from our dogs and leave them when they're doing something we like and sticking around to tell them what we don't like. I was just thinking about Ollie with that. If you guys are having a really good day with that, man, just be there to really, really accentuate the rewards for those behaviors. You can just like drop something and just do a drive-by. If they're sleeping, you can leave it next to their nose and they wake up and they immediately, it will be, oh, I'm laying here sleeping and now there's a treat next to me. So this is all good. Okay. Real quick, I wanted to talk about just making sure while you're doing your socialization exercises, when you're out in the world, you have your treats and you see something new come into the environment. I want to make sure that you guys are also working on doing some socialization to like odd behaviors. What I mean by that is like when you know your puppy might see someone walking different, and you can do a lot of that in your own living room. You can just have someone delivering the treats while someone else, the kids could really have a good time with that, while someone else is doing unusual things, rolling around on the floor, treat storm, jumping up and down, treat storm, walking funny, wearing a mask, just generally acting odd, walking in different ways that your dog might encounter out in the world, because dogs really tune in to different types of behavior, and it's scary to them because it's not something they're used to. So just don't forget to like incorporate some of that into your socialization. And again, the weirdness happens, feed, the weirdness stops, the bar closes. So we really want to make that pairing of the food with the unusual behaviors, or the mask, or the fake beard, or the fake mustache, or any of those things that you're working on. Okay, so we're moving on. So we're going to work on introducing down today. And again, we're not really, I'd like for you to hold off on using the verbal. And at another time, I'm going to teach you how to properly introduce the verbal that will make it more efficient for them to learn it. So, down. Usually I recommend you get your dog in a sit first, because it's easier to get a down from a sit than from a stand. Now, when you get, you know, up to PhD level downs, your dog should be able to do a down from a stand, no problem at that point. But right now we're trying to make it as easy as possible for them. Little dogs can have a problem with down. Quinn, I don't know if you've been working on it at all, but have you been getting some downs with little Scooter?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so some dogs it's not a problem. Small dogs it's not a problem. I know my Chihuahuas, it was a little bit difficult to get them to do it, and you know now they just throw them out there. So
Resident small dog though, yeah, she won't do it.
Yeah, and also something I wanted to add: down is a really vulnerable position. So if you're out and about, or you're in any situation and you ask for a down from your dog and they don't want to do it, it could be they're uncomfortable and they're just have some discomfort with that particular environment. So we don't want to force them into it, because they consider a bit of a vulnerable position. Some dogs, you know, some dogs it's just not going to be as much of an issue for, but some other dogs that already have, maybe, here comes Katie and Pete just came back in. Hey, there you are.
Made it.
Oh, good. How's little Rosie?
She's good. Sorry for the delay, everybody.
Oh, no worries. These technical issues, yeah, it's hard. Basically, I was just about to introduce down, but also I just quickly talked about doing some socialization to like odd behaviors as you're doing some of your socialization. Doing some funny moves, rolling on the ground, you know, walking funny. A lot of these things you just do in your living room, and make sure you're pairing it with food, because that is something that really can make a dog uncomfortable when they encounter out in the world, when suddenly see someone that's moving differently. Or, you know, make sure you're socializing to maybe put a mask on, a strange hat, just odd things across the board. Pair it with food. Once the odd thing is done, the food stops. So we just really want to get that pairing. So we're about to introduce down, and I was just saying down is a bit of a vulnerable position. And so if your dog does not want to offer a down in a particular situation, let's not force them to do that. We want them to be comfortable. Also, sometimes it's just cold ground or cold floor. And, I don't blame them for not wanting to like put their belly on the floor at that point. Okay, so I'm going to do a little demo with Lolly, with down, but I'll talk you through it first. So with sit, we put the treat to their nose and we angled it back and up. And so usually, as they're angling back, they're following the treat, their bottom hits the floor. Now with down, we're going to put the treat at their nose. Oh, okay. So, so this is the nose right here. Put the treat at their nose and pull it down straight to the floor. And depending on the dog, a little out or a little in. And you're going to pull the treat all the way down to the floor between their legs and then in or out. I'd start with moving a tiny bit out. Some dogs respond better to pushing it a little bit in. And then we're going to mark, and then we're going to let go of the lure at that point. After you've gotten a few successes with the treat in your hand, just like with sit, we're going to also do it where we get rid of the treat in our hand. We're going to have an empty hand and do the same motion. And then we're going to reward a treat from our other hand. And also another way that we can start moving towards getting them waiting for the treat from our other hand. Keep the treat in your hand, do the lure, but mark and reward from the other hand. So don't give them the lure treat. Try it with an empty hand first. But if you're not having success with that and they're not falling for the fake out, then go ahead and keep the treat in your hand and do the lure. But make sure you don't give them the lure. Make sure that they get the treat from the other hand. So we're just working on them getting used to that little delay. So I'll do a little demo with Lolly here. So I'm going to use a lure. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's go a little bit further out. Well, let's go right. Okay, you ready? Put it at her nose, bring it straight down between her legs. She's going, she's going. I'm going to pull it out a little bit, just a little bit. Yes. Then let go of the treat. Nice job. So this time I'm going to do it without the treat, and I'm going to treat from the other hand. Yes. Good girl. Okay. Okay, nicely done. So after you get maybe 2 or 3 successes, maybe 3 or 4, then go ahead and try to get that treat out of your hand. I'm going to start up here with Reginald. I think, like I said, the small dogs sometimes can be a little more challenging with that. But I do have a trick, Shannon, if you are having some problems with that. So if Reginald doesn't seem to want to get up at the point, and first of all, I'm going to say that is a lovely chillax that Reginald is showing for a small dog that's high energy. I'd give some treats to Reginald right now before we move on, and just highly reward that. Now, if you want to just toss a treat off to the side to get Reginald up and ready to work. Wow, that is a really vacuumed dog to their mat. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow, he's relaxed. So what I do is I would actually up your energy. I'd stand up, move around, pat your legs, get him going. We're going to try to get him out of the chillax a little bit so we can see if we can get some behaviors. There he goes. So let's see if we can get him in a sit first. And you guys, when you put your dog in a sit before you're going to work on down, don't worry about rewarding them. It's not a big deal if you want to. But they're about to get a reward for the down, so there's no need. It just kind of streamlines things a little bit. So see if you could get a sit. Get that right up on his nose. That treat right up on his nose. There he is. That's beautiful. Go ahead and reward him for that. Oh, well, either way. Get that right in his nose, up at his nose, and then pull out. See if you can get him. So that's not unusual at all, Shannon. So I'm going to show you a little trick. Also, do you have your smelliest treats going on there? You do? Okay. Hang on 1 minute. I'm going to do a little troubleshooting around it. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to show you a trick about how to get a small dog into a down. So hang tight. So let's check in with Quinn and Scooter. How's it going there? Look, I'm seeing some nice downs. Lovely. So it looks like you're probably ready to get that treat out of your hand. I go ahead and get that treat out of your hand and just mark and reward from your other hand. Or maybe you're already doing that. I'm not sure. That looks great. Excellent, Quinn. That looks great. So how's it going over here? How's it going with little Gloria?
It's going pretty well. We're just working on the down.
Okay, let's take a look.
Let's sit.
So if she doesn't go down right away, I just kind of like, I'd go ahead and just kind of just step away and just kind of walk away from it and then try it again. And for this, do you have your smelliest treats?
Yes.
Okay, just checking in. Okay, try moving your hand a tiny bit slower.
Okay.
Get that right up at her nose. And she might be one of those dogs that are a little less likely to follow a lure. It happens. Little distrustful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Fantastic. So yeah, after you get 2 or 3 of those, go ahead and take the treat out of your hand if you can, and mark and reward from your other hand. But that looks great. Good job.
Okay.
Good job. Yeah, and if she won't go down without the treat in your hand, no worries. Go ahead and leave the treat in your hand, but don't give her that treat. Make sure the reward comes from your other hand. Does that
Okay.
make sense at all? Yeah. So
Yep,
you're just still luring her, but still making her wait for the treat. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. How's it going with Pharaoh? I can't quite see him. Maybe is it possible to either move further out in the room or angle the camera down a little bit? There it is. Perfect.
Good boy.
Yes.
Nice. That looked great. Good job, Atticus.
Thank you.
And let's try one without the treat in your hand. Look at that tail.
Oh, that
Hey,
was
Rob.
without the treat in the hand.
Oh, it was. Wow. Fantastic. Impressive.
Good boy.
Okay, Chris, Kurt, and Ollie, you guys are up.
Ollie, come here.
Showtime.
Sit.
Beautiful. Okay, bravo. Bravo. That's looking good. Okay, how's it going, little Rosie? Boy, she just slipped right down in the down. Does she default to downs a lot? That was cute. See, that's got to melt. I think she like melted there. I just
Yeah,
kind
she
of
tends
saw.
to default into downs.
She does. Okay, well, what we'll do is, because eventually we're gonna have 3 behaviors, because we're gonna do sit, down, and stand. And the way you're gonna be able to keep her from guessing is we'll be having you mix it up. And then if she just defaults to a down when you said sit, then we just don't reward her. And then we just kind of walk away and reset and try again, you know. So it'll just be, she'll figure out, they're quick to figure out those defaults, because before we really start working on behaviors, we respond to those. They train us really well to love the default sit or down and immediately reward. And so they've just done exactly what basically they trained us. So it's great. I love that she has that, but we'll just work a little by the time we're done with the 3 behaviors, mixing them up, she'll start discriminating. But if she you know, slips into a down when you ask for down, then by all means give her a treat. Yeah, I mean, you know, even if she's defaulting, don't worry about it at this point, because she will, the default won't work as we start mixing up the behaviors. But yeah, the melted down, I love it. Okay, so back to little Reginald. Oh, do you have a question? Oh, I thought I saw a hand. Okay, back to little Reginald. Okay, Shannon, so I'm going to show you a way to get Reginald into a down. I'm going to have to be on the floor for this. Basically, I'm going to lure. I probably won't be able to get her to do it, but I'm still going to just show you what it looks like. So basically, I'm going to get on the floor. Make sure you guys can see me. I'm going to get her out of the way. Good. You just wait right there. So I'm gonna be on, well, are you gonna stand in the way so nobody can see me? I'm gonna get her over here. Goodbye. So I'm gonna be on the floor. Can you guys see me okay? Can you see me okay? I've got my leg up. My other leg is flat out. And what I'm gonna do is get a super smelly treat, and I'm going to lure, well, I'm not going to lure, but what you will do is you will lure your puppy underneath your leg, and as he starts to go under, he will actually be forced to go into a bit of a down. Actually, let me see if I can get one of my other dogs to do it. I'll be right back. Lolly. So this is little Abigail. Are you gonna perform for me? Okay, so I'm gonna put my leg. She almost did it. There she is. Good girl. Come here. You can do it. Nice. Good job. I didn't lower my legs so far that she had to go completely into a down because I didn't think that she would actually do it. But does that make sense, Shannon, what I was doing? And so once they're starting to even crouch into a down, go ahead and reward that. And incrementally, you can keep lowering your leg until Reginald is actually going into a full down as he goes under your leg. And then mark and reward that. A few training sessions, and then eventually he's going to be more apt to go into that down. So he doesn't really want to follow the lure, and that can be sometimes a trouble with little dogs as well. I had trouble with her with that. I didn't see that you were actually trying it. You don't want to follow that lure. Okay, I'm going to come back to what I talked about with the sit for Reginald. And that is watch and wait. And when Reginald gives you a down, be ready to reward that. Just in the course of a day, have those treats ready. If you just see him slip into a down on his own. So with Reginald, I think the best method to train him is going to be capturing. And capturing just means waiting for the behavior and mark and reward it. And eventually, they'll start offering those behaviors more when they're around you if they're getting rewarded for them. And so then you can get to the point, Shannon, when you're noticing that look like he might be about to offer a down, get in there with a hand signal and go down with them. And we're going to add the verbal eventually, and it would be the same thing. That was beautiful. Woo! Well, he might just do it on his own there. He just followed that lure right into a down. So whatever works. But definitely watching and waiting for those downs or those sits with Reginald, he's going to be offering those behaviors more. And then it's going to allow you to start interjecting cues so that you'll be able to get him down on those verbals. All right, you guys, that's looking really good. If your dog goes into a down and pops right back up, what you need to do is when they go into the down, you need to do some rapid fire, you get down with them. Instead of being standing up tall, get down low with them and start delivering some rapid fire rewards. And then I want you to start interjecting a release cue. Say, I use okay. Okay, toss a treat off. So you want to release your puppy before your puppy releases themselves. That's how you build duration. Rapid fire rewards, release, toss off a treat. Any word works. You guys can figure out whatever word you want. And then they're gonna start building some duration with that instead of just putting their bottom down and popping right back up again. And as you're building duration and you're doing the rapid fire rewards, you can start slowing the rewards down. You're being a stinker. You're being a stinker. Okay. So yes, again, we're trying to hold off on the verbal if we can, and we're going to interject that soon. Okay, I'm going to work on stay a little bit. I'm going to grab another dog for this one. You're not so good at the stay. Okay, hang on just a sec. Okay, stay. The biggest mistake that people make when they're working on stay is they try to go too fast and everything falls apart. You really have to do it in tiny increments, and you have to practice success. So you have to set it up so that when you do it, that they actually are successful. If you keep putting them in a stay and testing them, that's not training. That's just, it's testing. It's okay to test them one time in any environment that you decide that you're going to be training in. Hey, where are you at today in this moment in time, in this environment? See where they're at, and then work at that. Work below that. If they break the stay, then you know that you've got your information, and that's where you need to work at, is that criteria below where they broke the stay. So again, so just putting them in a stay and having them continuously break it and asking too much is going to get you zilch. You're not gonna progress. So I'm going to do a couple of little demos. First of all, we're just going to start out with just trying to get a little bit of time, a little bit of duration. And so I'm just going to put Lolly into a stay, and I'm going to ask for about maybe 5 seconds of duration. And I'm going to mark and reward that, and then I'm going to release her. Again, I highly recommend that you come up with the release cue. I use OK. Some people use free. And then when I'm done, I'll save my release cue, and then I'll either get really animated and call her out of, get her up out of the stay, or I'll just toss a treat off to the side and have her go and get the treat. And then I'll reset her, and then I will go again. So I'm going to work on getting a few seconds of stillness, and then I'm going to work on getting a few steps of distance. So the way this works is I will say, stay. I will place my hand out. On this one, we go ahead and add the verbal early on for this one. I'll say stay. I'll place my hand out, palm out. I'll retract my hand. Proceed with the stay. And when I'm done, I will mark and reward, and then release and toss a treat off. When I take a few steps backwards, I am always going to bungee back to my dog before I mark and reward. I recommend at this level, when you're working on stay, when they're learning it, that we always go back to our dog before we mark and reward. When you're at PhD level, you got a rock solid stay, then by all means, you can start working on calling your dog out of the stay. But if you go back to your dog, it actually builds a calmer emotional state. If they're waiting to be called out, they're going to be a bit more amped up, which just makes it a bit more likely that they're going to break their stay. And also, if they break their stay and they're always used to waiting for you to come back to them, it'll be a lot safer if you've put them in a stay and say you've opened the door, which I wouldn't recommend anyway, but if you did and stepped outside and you'd put your dog in a stay and they broke their stay, they're going to run to you. But if you've been working on bungeeing back to your dog, it's a little bit more likely they're going to stay in the area that they were in when they were doing the stay. So anyway, I highly recommend that you go back to your dog before you mark and reward. Then say a release cue, toss off a treat. So here we go. You're up. You're good at this, sort of, a little bit. Okay. done. Stay. Okay, that was too much for her. Good information for me. So I made it too hard. Stay. Half a step. Back. Yes. Good girl. Show it one more time. Stay. Half a step. Whoop. That was still too much for her. So I'm going to even just do less than that. Stay. Yes. You almost broke it. You did pretty good. Okay. There you go. She loves these treats. I've got the tripe. I'm making excuses for her. Her stay wasn't very good there, but yeah, good enough. Hey, you're helping yourself. Go. So put your hand out, say stay, put your hand out, pull your hand back, and then proceed. So what I'd like you guys to do is work on 2 or 3 repetitions of just duration, standing directly in front of your dog, however long you think your dog will be successful. After 2 or 3 repetitions of that, I'd like for you to try to take a step backwards and then step back to your puppy and mark and reward and then release them. One thing that we all have a habit of doing, and we're all, it's a human tendency, is we put our hand out, we say stay, and then we want to will them with our hand as we're moving. It's stay, 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 stay. That's going to fall apart when you get your stay to the point when you're turning around and walking away. Your hand will not be there to will them in place. So you might as well start now pulling your hand back and not having it be a part of the stay. Wow, I'm impressed with Reginald's chill skills. So he's going to stay because he is like very happy on his mat. You guys have done a really good job getting him happy on his mat. Seeing a lot of good stuff. Okay. That looked great, Quinn. Excellent. And yeah, just get Scooter back out of that. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's a lot of distance. Whoa, look at that. So then I just go ahead and toss a treat. Release your dog before your dog releases themselves, because that is the essence of a stay, right? If they're releasing themselves at the end of it all, then we've kind of just sort of lost the thread of what we're trying to do in the beginning. So, all right, let's see how Pharaoh's doing. That looked great. And so I go ahead and toss a treat off, or yeah, whatever, yeah. Just I was only Atticus, I was only meaning, after one stay is over, just that we toss a treat or get them up and then reset them for another. Something I forgot to mention was that we need to make sure that the dog has a beginning of the stay and an end of the stay. If we just put them in a stay and we keep doing stays, keep in mind that's just one long stay for the dog. So that's not really fair to them. We need to have a beginning and an end. So we'll do 1 repetition. When that's over, we'll get them up by slapping our thighs or tossing off a treat and then reset them again. But that was an excellent, you got a lot of distance there. That was impressive.
Thank you.
Excellent. So yeah, looking good. Let's take a look how Ollie's doing over there. That looked great. So I go ahead and release him out of the stay. And I can't see heads over there, but was that Chris or Kurt?
It's Kurt.
Oh, Kurt. You know what I liked about that was that you didn't try to ask too much. You knew to hightail it back to Ollie and make that successful. Mm-hmm. You didn't hang out too long. You just went right back there and rewarded that. So what you did was you created a win for Ollie by not asking too much for him. So good job on that. Excellent.
Getting pretty excited about the training now, though. I'm
what's that?
because She's being bad.
What's that? I can't hear you.
She's like barking now because she's
Oh.
excited to play. So I'm just turning my back to her for a second. 'cause-
Yeah, just ignore it. Yeah. And also maybe you've got treats in your hand and she can
Okay.
see. So what I would do, something you guys want to keep in mind is when you've got treats and your hands are dangling out here, or you're just kind of here with the treats, your dog's going to get real focused on that. So try to either put it back, you know, up here or behind your back or in your pouch, but not just hanging out for them to be able to like get stuck on with their eyes. And yeah. And that holds true for while you're doing the training and also while you're just, you know, in between the training. So I'm taking a look at little Reginald. Wow, nicely done. So let's give Reginald an end of the stay so that, you know, he succeeded in that stay. So let's go ahead and toss a treat off so he'll know that I did that stay and it's done now. Excellent. And then you just reset them again for a stay. Let's see. How's it going with Rosie there? Oh, that's cute. That is relaxed. And then I get her up out of that stay. So we got an end of the stay. So then she's going to be reset for another. That was adorable. What the heck was that?
I don't know. Stay is apparently also play dead. So she just like flops down and shows us her belly. And
you're going to have to capitalize on that with teaching her to play dead. But that was great. And yeah, and Rosie just pointed out, made a good point that for me, and probably for most of you, all you care, right, is that they stay. Does it really matter what they're doing? No, it doesn't. They could be sitting. They could start in a sit and slide into a down. Or as Rosie did, she went right into a down and then got on her back. Like, who cares? We just want them to stay. You know, eventually, if you wanted to get picky and go, okay, I want this to be a sit stay. I want this to be a down stay. Fine and dandy. But right now, if you can get your dog to stay, it doesn't matter. Just so they're in that spot. That's what really matters. Okay, that's looking good. So remember, we want an end, we want a beginning, and we want an end. We want to release them with the release cue. Say the release cue, toss a treat. We'll get those connected. So eventually you'll just be able to say the release cue and they'll know it's done. And that release cue is what we tell our dogs, how we tell our dogs that they are free to go be a dog again. They can just, excuse me, they don't have to mess with us humans and they can just go about their business. So that's really good that they know that. And it's also important because we're releasing them from the stay, not them. And that is what a stay is. If they release, if say you get this great success, but then they are the ones that release themselves, then it kind of falls apart a bit. So the other thing is make it so easy that they win. You need to get a lot of wins in order to actually make that groove in their brain. A great way to know when to make it harder. It's called 5 out of 5 rule. If you get 5 out of 5 repetitions, then you can make it harder. If you only get 3 or 4 out of that 5 correct, then you need to stay where you are and keep working at that criteria. If you get 1 or 2 out of 5, then you're definitely, it's too hard and you're going to keep failing and they are never going to make progress. Another thing to keep in mind, the 3Ds, excuse me, 3Ds, distance, duration, distraction. If you're working on distance, don't add duration. If you're working on duration, don't add distance. We only want to just make one thing harder at a time. If you're working on distance and you increase the distance, well, it's a default. It's, you know, impossible not to add duration, but don't also add more duration. You want to really keep your criterias streamlined and separated out so that you're not making it too hard for them by increasing too many things at once. So I think that's all I have to say about stay, except just practice makes perfect, but only perfect, mostly perfect practice makes perfect. failing is not going to get you anywhere. And it's frustrating for them and it's frustrating for you, and you're spinning your wheels. Okay, well, we're going to move on. That's looking really good, you guys. I'm actually really impressed that you guys are getting so much out of your puppies with that stay. That's a hard one for puppies. Okay, we're going to move on to leave it. And today we're going to go into the next step. And the first step that we were working on was we put the low value treat in our hand, our closed hand. We presented it to their nose. We waited until they broke contact, and then we marked and rewarded from the other hand with higher value treats, very high value. Definitely just make sure it's higher value than what you got in your leave it hand. So we're rewarding now on the last step that we've worked on for the breaking of engagement, the disengagement. Now it's going to be a little bit harder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the treat in our open palm, and we're going to present it to our dogs, but we're not going to get it right up here. We want them to win. So we're going to get it kind of out away from them and up so that they're successful. And we are going to mark and reward the lack of engagement, complete lack of engagement. So in other words, you present your hand with your treat and your dog goes for it, then that's a fail. So if you get a couple of fails, then you know you're not ready for open palm. Except the one thing you can do is try pulling it out a little further and raising it up a little bit. But if you've got it pretty far out and pretty far up, so far up that they can't even see there's a treat, then that's too far. But you can definitely help them out by pulling it further out and up. Try that. And if you're still going for it, that's a fail or not a success. And then just go back to the closed palm. Because what you're eventually going to get when you're working hard on the closed fist is you're going to get your dog is just going to look at it and go, I'm not going for that. And that's when you definitely know you're ready to start moving to the open palm. So don't worry about it if you're not ready for the open palm right now, but go ahead and go through the motions today, just so that I can see that you've got the mechanics down. And feel free again to move it further away and a little bit up, but not so far away and up that they're not even really aware what's going on anymore. They still need to be knowing that there's a game going on. So you'll say, leave it, present your open palm far enough up, far enough away to make them successful. If they go for it, try it one more time. If they go for it again, try it further up and further out and further up. And if they fail again, then just go back to your closed fist and just make sure you get that really solid before you move on to the open palm. Low value treat in the leave it hand. So I'm just going to go around. We'll start with little Reginald. And if they leave it, we need to go ahead and pull our hand back and not just leave it hanging out there for them until they, to tempt them to fail. We want to, at this point, we don't need a lot of duration. We just want them to leave it. That looked great with Reginald. Excellent. So let's see who's, we got to cut. Wow, that was the double challenge I just saw Reginald do. Fantastic. That was great. And so, yeah, again, you're saying leave it. You're pausing to let them know what the game is you're going to play, and then you're presenting your hand. Okay, let's move on to Scooter. So that technically was a fail. So you know what I would do, Erin, is pull your hand, present your hand further away from Scooter. Yes, that's a win. Mark and reward that quickly. Fantastic. Yes, there you go. So I'd work at that level a bit before you start moving the hand closer to him. Beautiful. Yeah, and what I would do, Erin, is make sure you get that mark and reward in there before Scooter starts to go for it, because I could see he was getting itchy there to like go ahead, but he resisted. Excellent. That's looking great. So I think you're ready to maybe lower it a little bit, not much. Because what we're doing is our goal is we're going to be headed where our hand is going to be headed down to the floor eventually. Okay. Scooter just told you that was too hard for me. So you just got some information. So that's perfect. Then you just went back up again. Look at Scooter. It's so cute. He's like, I'm just trying. What do you want from me? That was great. That's looking good, Aaron. Okay, let's move on to Pharaoh.
So here. Leave it. Yes.
So Pharaoh went for it. So that tells me it was too hard. Again, with this step, we don't want them to go for it at all, unlike the closed hand. So
Okay.
I would try another time, but further away from him.
Yes. Leave it.
And it's a little high up. He might not really be aware there's a treat. There it is.
Leave it.
He was sort of kind of going for it there. He might not quite be ready for the open hand because he's still kind of going for it. So what I would do is put a little bit more practice into the closed hand. Oh, he's doing really good. Well, you know, he really left that well. And then your hand was out there a little bit longer and then he decided to go for it. But I'm impressed that he, at the beginning, he didn't even go for it. So you're completely on the right track there. So just keep working with the closed hand until he repeatedly doesn't go for it. Then go ahead and do your open palm. So
And
I'd say maybe a couple, 3 more training sessions, he's going to be ready for the open.
And if he just gets fixated on my other hand that he knows has the high value treats, do I need to do anything different with that?
Yeah, you need to move that hand out of his picture. So
Okay.
what I would do is keep that hand behind your back. You could put it up here, but with him, I'd suggest it be completely behind your back. And then make sure that when you're presenting, for him, I would really work hard on that closed hand before you go to the open palm, so that when you go to open palm, you're going to have it closer to him. Does that make sense? So in other words, if you have such a solid closed hand, then you can go ahead when you do the open palm, stay a little closer to him so that he's not going around looking for the other one, meaning he'll be a bit more focused on this instead of moving to the open palm a little sooner where you're having to move it all the way out here, where he's going to be more tempted to go around your back and look for that other, where you know, the jackpot hand that's going to deliver the treat eventually. So I would just really make that closed palm super solid with him before you move on to the open palm, just
Okay.
because he's doing so much searching for that other hand. And when you present that open palm, closed hand, get that right up here so that he's a little more distracted by your hand, your closed fist. Then that will kind of help him not going around to your back and looking for the other. I don't know if that makes sense. So it might not have been the best way to describe it, but so yeah, but it's looking good. I saw him totally leave it. You're on the right track. So I'm going to go down here with Rosie and Katie, see what we got. Okay, the only thing that I got a little confused, I saw 2 hands come out at once. So we only want the leave it hand to be presented. And you might not have been presenting it to him, but it just kind of looked from my angle, it was more visible to him than I'd like to see, because it's going to like kind of distract him. Now, oops, I can't see him now, actually. There it is. So let's try that again and keep your treat delivery hand behind your back until he's actually succeeded.
Rosie, leave it.
That's her MO. That's hilarious. It's okay. Again, it doesn't matter. When you presented your closed fist, did she leave it?
Yes, it was open hand.
Oh, you got open hand going. Okay, fantastic. Okay, there you go. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter that she's rolling away from it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's going to get harder and harder where we're going to be putting that food on the floor, and she's probably going to be less likely to roll away from it. So that's looking good. Keep going, keep working on that. Just make sure that you keep your treat hand behind your back until after she's successful, and then get that reward to her. How's it going with Ollie?
Leave it.
Beautiful. Excellent. Good job. It's looking good. So let's just keep working with the open hand. If you feel like you're getting really good, oh wait, I'm sorry, I haven't worked on, I'm sorry, Gloria. Yeah, I'm going to give a little look at Gloria before we move on. Let's see how Gloria's doing.
Gloria, leave it. Yes.
That looked great. She did sort of kind of go for it a little bit, but I tried putting your hand out a little further. Let's try it one more time.
A little further.
Yeah.
Gloria, leave it.
Beautiful. Mark and reward that. Fantastic. Bravo. That's looking great. You're on the right track. Just keep doing that. If you guys feel that you're making tons, did I leave anyone out? Sometimes it gets confusing as I'm moving around the blocks. I think that was everyone. Oh wait, did we, Pharaoh, did we do, I don't know if we did Pharaoh yet. Let's see.
Yeah, we did him.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, it's a little confusing. So if you're getting a lot of success and you're holding the treat out on your palm and you're moving in a little closer, I want you to start moving your hand down towards the floor. Again, we want to make them successful. So if you start moving down X amount and they go for it, information, it's too tempting. So go ahead and keep it back up where you were and further out. So eventually we're going to move down to the floor and actually have our hand laying on the floor with the treat in it. So if you feel like you're ready to start working towards that, because next week we're going to be all the way down to the floor, so it'll just get you even just closer to that goal. Just start moving your hand down as you get those solid successes. Excellent. That looked great. Okay, moving on. And again, I'd like for you guys not to use the leave it cue unless you're actually training, because we don't want to poison it by having a situation where they're not successful. And then if that happens, then they'll start tuning that cue out, and then it'll be lost to you and to your pup. Okay, what else we got here? I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I did just want to do a quick reminder. Again, not to keep harping on it, but puppy socials. If you haven't gotten your puppy in on a puppy social yet, it is so important. For a dog like Reginald, I don't know, have you guys done any puppy socials yet?
We've just been doing a lot of one-on-one and then playing with his litter mates. And
Okay.
we signed up for the bigger puppy socials starting next week.
Okay, excellent. Because I was going to say, just playing with litter mates they need to learn how to play with dogs that they don't know. So I'm glad to hear that that's going to be a goal for you. And just and for all of you guys, if you haven't gotten them involved yet, just a reminder, we do them on Tuesdays, Thursdays. Tuesday at 1 is our small dog social. And then we also do at 2:30 on Tuesday and Thursday, we do the rest of the bigger dogs, medium and bigger dog socials. Brooklyn Yard Vet, through a company called Pup Star, Wonder Puppy, Doggy Business, and the Humane Society. They really, really, really need to play with dogs other than their housemate dogs, because they just might turn into little monsters because they get really, really comfortable with their housemate dogs, and they might not get away with those same play styles when they get out in the world and start trying to meet new dogs and learning to play with new dogs, strange dogs. Part of the process of the socials is them meeting new dogs on a regular basis. That's part of it. And they just learn how to play from the give and take and the information they exchange while they're playing. Okay, you guys, have a great week. And I guess I won't see you until next year, but Happy New Year. Be safe and be well. Take care, you guys. Oh, wait, I have a chat from, let's see. Oh, Quinn. Okay, Quinn just added that Brooklyn Yard has shy puppy social, so that's good to know. If you guys have that situation, so excellent. All right, see you later. See you next year. Bye bye. Email me with any questions. Okay, bye bye.